So today I will tell you about policy configurator and on example of VM42 policy. So we can start. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here we see the policy blocks tree in the middle of the screen, and on the left we see all blocks that we can add. We can add models and or tools. In the top menu we have some buttons like save, run, publish, dry run, copy, and etc. On the right side we can set up main configs like policy descriptions, name, description, project schema, and project categorization. Also, we can set up here roles. In this policy, we have just 2 roles, custom roles, but we have 4 roles in total, because we have no role and owner role here. So I just added project proponent role and VVB role here. And also we have the navigation tab for each role. As we see, there is no role and owner. And other tabs are not needed to be configured here. So as we see, we have the first block is the policy. This is the system block. It's the container. And inside that block, we can add other blocks. And the first block is choose role block. Here we can set it up in the right side. So the metadata is the tag that we can edit, but it should be unique. Also, we can set up permissions for that block. So I selected the no role here to display it for everyone who doesn't have role, and that block is default active. And here the stop propagation, that means that for other blocks to stop events, default events, and other available roles, we can choose which roles user can select. Here is just 2 roles, and here that's all about that block. If user select project proponent role, he will see this block, project proponent, because the permissions here is for that role. And it's the interface container block. We can find it in the left side. Here it is, container block. And it just contains other blocks. And that block have title and type. Yes. Right now it's the blank type, not tabs, because it contains only one block inside. And this is the step block inside container, interface step block. You can find here that block. It's UI block. It used for pass each block inside by user step by step, and we can choose it by cyclic if you want. We can select final steps, but in that policy, it's not configured here. Just audit this block and choose permissions. And inside that, project proponent here should submit the form, because the first step inside it is the create account form. This is the request block. Request block you can find here, and it could be the page or model window dialog. And we must select the schema here. This is the project proponent account registration schema. And we need to select document ID. We can generate some IDs, or it will be taken by owner ID. Also, we can configure the preset, but not here, because at the first document, and after the project proponent will submit this form, it passes to the next block by default event, and all data will pass here to the save block. This is the server block, send to Guardian block. And we can find here, send. So here we're setting up how and where we'll store the data. And we need to select data source. We can store in that database or Hedera, but if we select auto, it will be stored both autobase or database or Hedera. And I think in the entire policy, it will be select auto. Also, we need to, we can select entity type here. And here we type PP account, because it will be used in the future when we want to filtering documents, and we can find this document by an entity type. And we can add some options here. Options, it's mean attributes document, and it's often used to set up status. So we can put any variable name and value. So project proponent will create the form, and it saves waiting for approval entity with that type. And after that, user will see the information block just with text for waiting for approval. And he will wait by the admin role will approve that document. So we can open the admin container and see each containers inside. And the first container in admin role is PP account approval. And here we can see the grid block. The grid block is like table with data, and the table just have fields, and we need to stop what path of the fields, and we can set name, tooltip, class, and others. And main thing here is the field path, and it will be taken from data source documents and it will be taken from add-ons. And here we have add-ons, and here we can see the document source add-on. And this add-on helps Grid to take some data, and we can set up this is the VC document or VP or DIT and schema. So here is the project proponent account registration, like here. It's same. And one filter here is, it means equal attributes status waiting for approval, like that status. So that source represents all documents that have this status and this by this schema. Also, we have another document source add-on that represents other project proponent accounts that not equal this status. It's used because only for that documents we will show the buttons to approve or reject. This button add-ons, this button for approve and this for reject. And here we can set up in the grid, we can set up not just text, but we can select type like button. And here we can put a link dialog to JSON file, and we can see by pressing on that button the VC document. And here we can see the buttons by selecting the blocks and choose these two blocks here to display. And also we can see we have the history add-on, and this simple add-on that just we can add to grid, and it will show the status changes with comments in this grid. But we can modify it if you don't want to. By default is the status and comment fields, but we can change it here. So, and after that, if admin will press approve, it will by event moves project proponent to the next container, to the main container. So maybe you have questions? Okay. The project proponent main container. So here we can see 8 sub-containers, and that container has type tabs, and 8 containers inside. And the first container is the project description container, which contains the grid like we see in admin, and that grid represents the project description. It has project or document source add-on for project description template schema, and here is selected that's owned by this user only. Will filter it by and with status waiting for approval, and that not equal waiting for approval, and history add-on. And also we can see the new block. This is the assign block. This is the action block here. And in this policy, it used for assignment VVB role by each document. And we can select value and path name to display. And inside this block, we have another source add-on that will take schemas from VVB account, and that's only registry approved. So after that, the project proponent in grid, in documents that only waiting for approval source, we'll see the assignment drop down with all VVBs that registry approved. Okay, and after the project proponent will choose some VVB role for document, it will be stored in Hedera and database. And after the grid, we can see the project description form, and it has type dialog. So user can see the button with name create, and he'll see the model window with project description template that he will need to fill. ID type VV ID, and we can select the project dialog, title dialog, description. And after the user submit this form, the data will pass through tools. Here we can select any tools that we want. In this case, this is the RM tool 4, and after that, tool 24. And after that, it will be stored into the outer, so a database in Hedera with entity type project description and with status waiting for approval. Okay. So the same in other containers, it will be same, but maybe some changes. So we have grid for interpolations, which contain the source add-on with interpolation schema owned by user. And here we can have the dialog with interpolations that user can fill. After that, we have here the new block. This is the custom logic block. This is the server block here. And it means that the data from this form will pass to these calculations, and we can set up the output schema, so it's the same schema. Who will be signer for document, new ID, script language, and here we can put the expression for that. If we press the expression, we can see the code in JavaScript. So here the document is the static system field. And here we call the calc function here and go into the from documents. What?
Hey, Dariy, can we pause for 1 second?
Okay.
And we'll keep this code editor open. So I just wanted to give some context. There's some questions as to what the Guardian is and what we're showing here. So my name's Jaylene, and I'm one of the policy directors at Envision Blockchain. We're the builders and maintainers of the Guardian and the Hedera ecosystem. So the Guardian is really a platform that has been built for carbon offsets, if you're familiar with that, or emissions tracking. And what we do with this is really build what you're seeing here, which is called a policy. And a policy is capturing all of the business processes that happen when you, as someone who's interested in getting carbon credits, the process you would have to follow in the real world. So that would be with standard registries like Vera that are very well known in the space, Gold Standard. There's also CDM, which is part of the UNFCCC. So what we do is outline what is the first step you have to take, which is usually registering under that standard registry. Then you can go ahead and submit your project data. You can submit your project activity data, which would be how many trees have you planted as a very simple example, and what benefit does that have for the environment. So once we have all of that calculated based off of the rules that these standard registries create, so they have PDFs available to the public, it outlines all of the equations that you have to follow, all of the rules you have to follow for these environmental projects. And at the very end, you get to calculate your environmental benefit. So what Dariy has been showing here is what is the structure that we follow for this specific one, which is BM42, one of the most popular Vera methodologies available right now. And as he showed you with the different containers, we have different roles like a project proponent. We have VPBs, which are auditors for these types of projects. And we also have an administrator role, which could be Vera, or if you're using this for your own purposes, it could be a management position inside of your organization playing as the admin. So really that's what he is showing you here. There are additional components to the Guardian. As you see on the left, we have the schemas, artifacts, modules. All of this information is available in the GitHub link that I've shared in the chat previously. We do have YouTube videos available as well that guide you through the very beginning to the end of how a policy works, how the UI looks, because what you're looking at right now is how do we structurally build the code out for the policy. But there is a UI that the actual users would use, which is the project proponent, the auditors, the admin. They have their own UI that they see. This is just the building blocks of how we get to that point. So I'll let Dariy continue, but if you have any other questions, I will be in the chat as well to help answer those. Thank you, Dariy.
Okay. Do I need to explain the calculation block?
If you want to just open it, I can help explain. If you open the ER one.
Okay, ER, okay.
Yep.
But it's huge one.
Oh, okay, so it'll take time. You could open whichever then. So in the code editor, like I mentioned in PDFs, and I can maybe share a link to a PDF in the chat, we have formulas that are outlined. And in this calculation block that Darry's showing, we outline all of the code for those calculations. So if there's 20 formulas outlined in the PDF, you should have 20 formulas inside of this code editor so that we could properly calculate the emission reductions. And that's really the most important part in the sustainability space and carbon offsets, is ensuring that you're calculating your environmental benefits accurately and you're not over issuing credits, because that is frowned upon in the space. You want to make sure that you're being just very, very careful with these calculations, following it as it's outlined in the PDF. And for that reason, we have all of this public here in this code editor. You can review it. The Guardian is big on transparency, and that's why we're on the Hedera network, to ensure that all of this is public. And anyone who wants to audit any credits that have been minted based off of this policy can easily track all of the calculations that are outlined in here, and see all of the data that we're pushing through it when we're using the policy as well. And Dariy, if I'm right, this is all written in JavaScript, right?
Yes. So I can continue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, after that, after calculations, we have an output document by this schema, and we'll need to save it in the same block, save to Guardian block. And we type the entity type, project proponent interpolation here. In the next container is the emission reduction block. This is the same container as others, and it has the own grid block, which contains the two source with schema net EER calculations, and same here, owned by user and with status waiting for approval attribute and not equal waiting for approval, and with history. In the grid, maybe some fields or titles will be changed in each container. It depends on schema and on flow here. So like assign block, again, to assign VB role, this role. So, and next we see the form block request with the same schema, net ER calculation, with new ID, with some titles, this button text. And after the user submits this form, it will pass to the tool. The tool is like already prepared calculations or some logic, and an output it will pass to the new calculation block here, like I showed 2 minutes ago, with same settings here. Output schema, owner, new ID, script language, and expression. So, but in this case, the custom logic block has another source block, the interpolation source from here. It because this calculation also depends on interpolations. So this emission reductions document in the calculation will be modified, or will be take some data from interpolations. And here the interpolation schema, we see document owned by user, but without filtration. So because inside the calculation block we will do that filtrations. as I remember, it will be by year filtrations. And after that, we'll need to save with another entity type and same status, waiting for approval. And we can see the assignment block with VV button, drop down text, and with source for VV accounts. And after that, we need to save this document. And another block is monitoring report. It will be same grid with sources, but with another schema, with form, with assignment block, all the same. And but in the validation report, it's just grid because this document is not by that user created. It creates by the bureau. And verification report, same, just source. And in the source filters, we see the assigned to user. So that means that VVB will need to assign to this user this user can see this document as here. So this is project proponent will assign and we'll make some assignment here, and the assignment ID will be stored in the assignment to field. So we can filter here, assign it to user, and it will show all assignment to user documents. And we see the last two containers is VPs and trust chain tab. In VPs is just source with VP documents owned by user, and that's all. And the trust chain container with trust chain block, it's called report block here, and you can change permissions tag, and that's all. And inside the trust chain we have report items that represents the information chain of all actions that we want to show, but we need to set up it like we need to link all documents from the end. So here we have the trust chain mint document. It's the main document after the mint, and we filter it by action ID. This is the system field here, mint VC document ID, and we will find one document that we mint. After that, it will be go to the next block, and here we need to create new variable project ID, and we'll take this value from first credential subject G7, and we'll store the project ID here. And we will make some filters, so in each other blocks we can create new variables and filter by that to link all documents by status or some fields or action ID or entity type, like that. And it could be some difficult to link this chain, but also we have in new trust chain block that will do automatically the same, but not. But manually we can change some items or add more information that we want. And that's all for project proponent. Let's see the VVB role. VVB role set up with permission VVB, with stack VVB, and it contains only like steps, like here, and the same as project proponent. At the first, we need to create account by schema VVB account registration with owner DID ID type on whole page, and after VVB submits that form, it will be stored in the database in Hedera with VVB account entity type and the status. And after that, the VVB will see the waiting for approval message, and he will wait by when admin will approve it. Same as for project proponent. So after approval, VVB will see in the main container with 5 subcontainer blocks. So VB container has type tabs, and each container is blank. We can choose containers or navigate it by these settings in navigation. Here, we can choose and set up any name, and we can select block. From every block, we can select level of this navigation in UI. So here we can see on the VB role the create account step. It will be that block. After that, waiting for approval. After that, project description and mission reductions, maintain reports, validation reports, verification reports that represents each block here. So here the project description approval block, which has the source blocks with project description template from project proponent. Assign it to this role by assignment block, and with waiting for approval status, and another source blocks with others statuses, and 2 buttons for approve and for reject only for dead documents with dead status, and history add-on. And here we set up for which source we can display dead buttons, and it's for VB PD source here. And in the events tab, we can set up events. So if we press on approve button, we'll run this block. If reject this block, so if VB button will approve, it will change status to third-party verifier approved. If reject, third-party verifier rejected, and saved with that status to database and their topic. And the same is for emission reductions, but with another schema, but logic is same. We need to approve and change status or reject. And we have monitoring report, same. And not same for validation and verification report, because VB role creates these documents. And in validation report, VB will see the button for create this report with this schema validation report template. And verification, same. It's for verification report schema, and to create the submit form, and we'll store it into the database on Hedera with status and entity type. And here we can see the grid with waiting for approval status and not waiting for approval status, and history add-on. And in waiting for approvals, source documents will show assignment block, but for project proponents accounts to assign validation and verification reports to project proponents. And that's all for VB. And admin role, see the, like I said before, the project accounts approval and VB accounts approval with buttons, and project proponent description approval after third-party verifier approved. After VB, with this role will approve. The admin role will need to approve too. And here we can see not waiting for approval, but third-party verifier approved and not third-party verifier approved, and the buttons for approve or reject. And after approved, it will be registered status. Or reject, registry rejected. The same for emission reductions, and same for monitoring reports, and same for validation reports, but another status. And for verification reports, but in the verification reports, we see the calculation block and the mint block. It means that after their admin role will approve the verification report, it passed to the calculation block and make some calculations here. And after that, new data will pass to the mint. And mint block is the main, I think, block here, because it will initiate the mint process by so amount of tokens we can put in rule field. It means the G228 is like in this document before path. So it means maybe we can here to prepare or something, or this document or verification report contains the amount in this field. So it will be taken here, this amount, and will be mint the tokens by that amount. And account type we can select here. And we can select the token that we created before, but it has many imports, that's policy. Also, the last containers here is the same as in project proponent. It's for VP documents. VP document is document that will be created after the mint process. And trust chain. So in the grid for VP, we see the title hash and trust chain that user can just click on the VP document button in the grid, and it will be redirected to this tab and open the trust chain by the document. I think that's all. Maybe you can ask questions. Also, we can run policy as in dry run. Don't want to save. Okay, I don't remember that I make changes. I can show the navigations or blocks that I described. This is the I don't hear you.
Could you please repeat? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Could you please repeat this?
What repeat?
I think for configuring this page, this part, the last part.
Okay. What part? What part do you mean? The dry run part? We can run policy as dry run. It means like test mode. It means that we can easy to run or stop or restart, and we can create virtual users here. We can restart, and all data will cleared. As main role is administrator, that we can see here. This is the main role, and we can create users. So the first user will see the choose role as I described before. This is the first block, the choose role block, and we can select the role. And after that, on the left side, we see the navigation, but we are now in the stepper block, and we can't select. We can only create account. We can put the test data for speed up the process, and we'll fill the example values everywhere and press submit. And we see waiting for approval. So we can switch to the editor mode, and we see it was the choose role block, and after that I choose the project proponent role, and the first step is create an account, and account will be was saved, and we now see the waiting info. If we switch to admin role, we will see the project proponent account here, and we can approve or reject them. So project proponent accounts, we see this is the grid component with project proponent accounts. We can see the history add-on here with time and date and status. Also, we can see the view document button that I described before in the grid. And here we can see all data that I just now submitted by project proponent account. And we can see in code view that data. We can download it. Also, we can approve project proponent. And we see in history add-on that registry approved status will appear. And in the first user, now we can move to the other blocks. We can create project. This is the schema for project description. And we can create, we can select VB role, but I didn't create any VBs. And this errors about because the example data IPFS is not real. Also, I can create interpolation, emission reductions, monitoring reports, and see validation reports, see verification reports, VPs. In the second row, I can choose the VB role, submit VB account form, and by admin, I can view document, view status, and approve. So the first role right now can choose that role. And after it will be chosen, the second role will see project description document, and it can approve or reject it. So here we can see the new status, and by admin, we'll need to approve it again. And here it is, the project proponent created date, the third-party verified approved date, and register approved date and status here. So if you want to see tokens, we can create the flow. So I need to submit interpolations. Emission reductions. So I need to assign it. Internal reports. And by verification role, I need to approve all documents and create validation reports. And I need to assign it to project proponent. And admin role can approve documents. after that. And after he approved verification reports, Mint will be started. As we see, and Mint was passed, and we can see in the new VP document with that hash. And if we just open the trust chain, we need to enter hash here, but we can click on view trust chain, and it open the trust chain section with all data for this token and history that I prepared in editor step. We have token minted before verification report, validation report, emission reductions, monitoring, project description, verification body account, project proponent account, and the system policy created. Each file we can view here, and here it is. I can publish policy, and I must choose version and availability and press publish. So I think that's all. Maybe it was fast and a lot of information. So you can ask me. Do you have questions on publishing, or what do you mean?
You answered him. I was going to say what was the next step, and you showed it. So
yeah. That's all what I wanted to show for you.
Thank you, Dariy. So thank you so much. I did share the document link as well in our chat. We do have the documentation for each of the block which Dariy have presented in today's presentation. We have been detailing all the documentation on everything related to Guardian. So let me also again share that with you in case you have missed it. But we do have the documentation with each of the block mentioned in detail. We do have some methodologies, user guide as well in our documentation. We do have some of the methodologies which are already being created and published on Hedera using Guardian in our GitHub repo. So if you would like to just play around, before you start the developing of your own, you can actually take any of the methodology policy file from the methodology library folder in our GitHub repo, and then you can play around so that you will get much more idea. The VM42 methodology which Dariy was presenting, even that is present in the open source repo. So feel free to look at it. Feel free to please reach out to us if you have any questions. We do have a Slack channel, specific for the technical questions or any of the issues you face in Guardian. We are happy to help you. But yeah, looking forward, to working with all of you guys. So any questions on any of the things related to Guardian?
Hi, please. I don't know if you've answered the question in the Q&A.
Okay, so the question is, so for the current Hedera Africa hack, what methodologies can be submitted, or where can we find the methodologies to work on? Also, can we build projects that utilize the Guardian but that aren't really policy methodology based? So let me see if we have over here the originator of this particular hackathon. Do we have a smile here by any chance? Okay, so just to answer your question is basically, I think you can submit any of the methodology related to carbon market for hackathon, and it's just that, like, it would be your choice. We don't have right now the list, but I can share some of the already existing methodologies what has been developed in current Guardian. And either you can also use existing ones and you can enhance it, or you can test those and then you can find some bugs in that particular methodology, and you can fix it and let us give us a PR. But the other question what you have here is also, can we build projects that utilize a Guardian that aren't really policy methodology based? So if you say Guardian is actually more of the policy workflow engine, so I kind of like would say that, the policies or the methodologies which you can build through Guardian is would be the projects which would be policy based, because the workflow engine or the goal of Guardian is to build that policies. So that's the reason, if you try to do any other projects, that would be a bit difficult for you to achieve it, because, Guardian is actually more focused and more related to the policy methodology based projects. So that is what it is. So I did share the methodology library in the chat. So if you see, you do have some of the methodologies already built in Guardian, which will be easy for you to get a start on Guardian. You can just easily import those policies using the policy file, and then you can look at the flow. What Dariy mentioned, it should be similar to the methodologies what are there existed. So it would be easy, but feel free to please reach out to us on Discord or Slack or email. We would be happy to answer any of your questions. And I would actually suggest you to go over the documentation of Guardian, what we currently have. We have been updating that documentation on the daily basis. So it would be also easy for you to go over and let us know if you have any questions. We do have a new handbook coming, handbook in the Guardian. Let me just share that. It is actually more related to VM33 methodology. We have one of the contributor of Guardian who have been working on the handbook. It will actually give you more insights from the scratch of how to build, how to design the schema, how to develop the schema, how to use all the blocks related to Guardian. So that would be easy for you guys to look at it.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any questions? Yep.
I don't know if this question should be directed to you or to the organizers of the main hackathon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Hedera using the Guardian is under the track DLT for operations. And when I went through, I'm actually building a project under the DLT track as well, but more focused on healthcare. So now when the Guardian launched their own task and everything, I went back to the track, and the tools there, the use cases they mentioned, there was like saying if you're building like an healthcare project, you should use Hedera Guardian. So that was what I was wondering, like, can someone build a project outside of climate and all that to use like Hedera workflows? Yeah, they said we should use Guardian workflows. So that was what I wanted to like point out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be, again, like if Guardian permits you to build it, definitely, you can go ahead with the projects, outside the climate, sustainability. But it would be like, as I said, that it would be easy for you if you are new to Guardian. It would be easy for you to look at or try building, which Guardian supports, and then you can enhance your experience with Guardian in the other projects.
Yeah. Actually, this is Talib from Dark Blockchain, the team, one of the team members of the organizers team. From our side, in terms of for this hackathon, particularly, let me share with you, like for all the tracks, like the use cases of in all the tracks are just use cases, examples, templates that you can follow. But the idea is that it is open for everyone to submit on each track and to find like the most suitable way to develop a solution for DLT for operations or AI and GP or real world assets and on-chain finance. So it's up to you to develop these solutions. The others, like they are not sub tracks, but they are more than use cases that we are proposing on you. So we facilitate for you the task, but it's up to you to develop any kind of solution with any support, but it needs to be built on Hedera ecosystem. This is the whole idea. So feel free, like don't reduce the scope of any project that you are working on. It's open for you. Just be related to the tracks, and that's it.
All right, thank you.
Dariy, Irena, do you have anything to add or any question, things that you want to share to the community? So.
No, that's about it. I think, we are happy to support and help in any way. If you guys are interested to join our Slack channel, we do have a Slack channel dedicated to Guardian. And, if you haven't joined our Discord, feel free to please join and let us know. If you have any questions related to Guardian, we would be happy to help. And we would be happy to share all the resources what we have existed, and we would be happy to help.
Good. And thank you, Prerna and Dariy, and see you guys in the next session that will be shared with you as always via Discord and via email. So please make sure that you are following up with the community on Discord and by email. So we make sure that you benefit from all the trainings and all the support that the Hackathon team is offering to you. So thank you again, and see you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.